All right, Shalom Akim. Before I get started with the lesson, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, Ba'Shem, Arakakwadash, and of course, as always, double honors to our apostles and elders that were well a great millstone, and also Shalom to all you sincere Akim that are preaching this word in all truth and in sincerity. So I was having a conversation, all right, with a Jake, all right, yesterday. And so, later on that night, I started thinking about that conversation and how that conversation applies to the scriptures and also this truth, and also will benefit the Akim, of the understanding of that certain topic. And that certain topic is dealing with herbs, okay, and different, foods that are beneficial not only to your body but also your spirit. Because anything you put in your body can affect your spirit, whether it's beneficial or non-beneficial. It'll affect your spirit positively or negatively. So I want to start this off with Genesis chapter 1 and verse 11. And the power said, "Let the earth bring forth grass, the herb yielding seed, and the fruit tree yielding fruit after his kind, whose seed is in itself upon the earth." And it was so. And the earth brought forth grass and herb yielding seed after his kind, and the tree yielding fruit, whose seed was in itself after his kind. And the power saw that it was good. So the Lord created all these different plants, trees, fruits, vegetables, and the ones that we see on a regular basis, are the ones that we eat, are the ones that yield seed in themselves. All right, you got grapes. Grapes have seeds in themselves naturally. Now, I was watching the Apostle Ramlab and also the Apostle Tar's recent videos dealing with eating herbs, eating fruits, vegetables, and also dealing with eating meat. Apostle Tar was going into how back in the ancient world, the Adamites, which is who we are before we were called Israelites, back in the pre-generation, we ate mainly 98% of our intake of food, of meat, was herbs, fruits, vegetables, different plants. Little do you know, you could actually eat flowers, dandelions, you could eat roses, and they're good for you. They actually contain vitamin C and other minerals. You remember hearing in the history books about the pirates. Pirates would get scurvy and they die of lack of nutrients, lack of vitamins. Well, Esau and these other nations at one time, mainly let's stick with Esau, he didn't understand the concept of different herbs, especially the herbs that were located here in the Western Hemisphere. Okay, that's why the Donner Party, they caught the smoke, they caught judgment. Okay, you had the Pilgrims when they came here, they caught pure hell. All right, they were dying of starvation, dying of not understanding how to live with these elements that are here in the Western Hemisphere. Okay. So let's jump now to verse 29. Let's see. Yep. And the power said, "Behold, I have given you every herb bearing seed, which is upon the face of all the earth, and every tree in the which is the fruit of a tree yielding seed. To you it shall be for meat." So all these different plants, okay, different fruits and vegetables, the ones bearing seed, all right, were meant for us to eat. You know, you got certain people out there, especially Esau, the so-called white man. Okay, their diet and the diet that they press here on you, so-called Americans, you Babylonians, is a high-protein meat diet. All right, like the brother Ralph Rapa'ala in our camp, Modesto, California Israelites, or Central Valley, California Israelites. All right, he mentions how you know the diet here is a man. I forget the word he used. He man, I forget the word he used, but he mentioned it a few times. That it's a you know, it's a death diet or something of that nature. Because the diet here in Babylon, the foods that they promote on the TV all day long, is poison, man. Okay, it's chemicals and genetically modified organisms, man. You know, you could go on YouTube and there's this documentary or a informative video clip of how McDonald's, the cheeseburgers, hamburgers, you know, the food that they have, especially the French fries, does not deteriorate over time. It doesn't break down. All right, like if you find a carcass of an animal dead, different funguses and bacterias and organisms will break it down. Okay, but this food that they sell you, fast food chains, that food does not break down. She actually had a museum piece cheeseburger that was inside a capsule, and she said it was like over 20 years old. And the French fries too. And there was no mold. There was no sign of fungi. Meaning it was not breaking down, man. So if you put that in your body, you know that it's not breaking down. That's why people are all bloated. They got different ailments, parasites, back problems. Because that food is not breaking down. You know? And that being pushed upon us from a youth, you know, eating fast food and a high meat diet, high protein meat diet, you know, is why we suffer from different diseases, man, different ailments, whether it's high blood pressure, whether it's obesity, you know. You got acne. You know, all this is from a lack, malnutrition. Okay, lack of us eating, you know, fruits, vegetables, different seeds, different nuts. You know, a correct diet. Okay, what did the Lord tell Adam? Okay, and I believe Genesis chapter 4 or 5. He told Adam, you know, that he was gonna eat the fruit of the field. You know, pretty much that he was gonna be stripped from his immortality. You know, and that he had to sustain himself, to sustain that body by eating them vegetables, man, eating them different herbs. That they were gonna start to develop different ailments, man, in the flesh. Okay, so from there I'm gonna jump to Daniel. Chapter 1 as well, and I'm gonna jump to verse 3. So this is Daniel chapter 1 verse 3. And the king spake unto Ashpenaz, the master of his eunuchs, that he should bring certain of the children of Israel, and of the king's seed, and of the princes, children in whom was no blemish, but well favored, and skillful in all wisdom and cunning and knowledge and understanding science, and such as had ability in them to stand in the king's palace. So the Israelites that were brought to to this king, okay, I believe it was Nebuchadnezzar, those Israelites that were brought to him, okay, it said that they were super wise. Okay, they were very skilled in sciences and in different knowledge, man. Okay, these were not just your regular Israelite. This wasn't just some regular Israelites such as the Israelite I was talking to last night. Okay, these Israelites were, of course, Daniel, he's part of the elect. So those were some very, very special Israelites. They were brought before the king. Okay, it says, has had ability in them to stand in the king's palace. Not any Israelite or any person could just stand in the king's palace, stand in a king's presence. Okay, this is when we were under captivity. All right, you couldn't just be anybody. So Daniel had super favor, man. Daniel, the Lord was dealing with Daniel. It says, in whom they might teach the learning and the tongue of the Chaldeans. And the king appointed them a daily provision of the king's meat, and of the wine which he drank, so nourishing them 3 years, that at the end thereof they might stand before the king. And you got to think of a king, the king's meat. It was full of lamb. He probably had different banquets of the best lamb, the best goat, the best cows, okay, the best cattle, the best fish, the finest cheeses, breads. And Jake loved bread and cheese, man. It says, now among these of the children of Judah, Daniel, Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah, unto whom the prince of the eunuchs gave names. For he gave unto Daniel the name of Belteshazzar, and to Hananiah of Shadrach, and to Mishael of Meshach, and Azariah of Abednego. But Daniel proposed in his heart that he would not defile himself with the portion of the king's meat, nor with the wine which he drank thereof. He requested of the prince of the eunuchs that he might not defile himself. So whether it was either food that was abominable that was there, or just foods that were, what he seen as abominable, whether it was too high in fat, not enough vegetables, just whatever it was. It says, now the power had brought Daniel into favor and tender love with the prince of the eunuchs. See, man? As the scripture says, he that pleaseth Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, even his enemies shall be at peace with him. And they love Daniel, man. Okay? They love Daniel and certain Israelites. And the prince of the eunuchs said unto Daniel, I fear my lord the king. Now going back to them loving Daniel and whatnot, Nebuchadnezzar, was it Nebuchadnezzar? I believe it was Nebuchadnezzar. Even when he threw Meshach, Shadrach, and Abednego into the fiery furnace, and also when Daniel was about to be thrown when Daniel was in the lion's den. Okay, he did it for the people's sake, but he even told Daniel, he was like, man, I know your God, Yahweh, is going to deliver you from that. He's telling him, fear not, I know your power is going to deliver you. But he did it for his people's sake, because they would have killed his ass. So showing you the favor and the love that these other nations, certain of them, had for Israelites. Now, of course, they're heathens, but in the kingdom, everything's going to be reestablished in righteousness. It says, verse 10, and the prince of the eunuchs said unto Daniel, I fear my lord the king, who hath appointed your meat and your drink. For why should he see your faces worse liking than the children which are of your sort? Then shall ye make me endanger. Then shall ye make me endanger my head to the king. Then said Daniel to Melzar, whom the prince of the eunuchs had set over Daniel, Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah, prove thy servants, I beseech thee, 10 days, and let them give us pulse to eat and water to drink. Now, when you look at pulse in the blue letter, it means vegetables. Okay. So he said, for 10 days, let us just eat, vegetables, plant life. All right. Verse 13. Then let our countenances be looked upon before thee, and the countenance of the children that eat of the portion of the king's meat. And as thou seest, deal with thy servants. So he consented to them in this matter and proved them 10 days. And at the end of 10 days, their countenance appeared fairer and fatter, meaning they looked more healthy, man. Fairer and fatter, they were healthier. It says, fairer and fatter in flesh than all the children which did eat the portion of the king's meat. So they looked way healthier than all the others that were eating the king's banquets. Thus Melzar took away the portion of their meat and the wine that they should drink, and gave them pulse. As for these 4 children, the power gave them knowledge and skill in all learning and wisdom, and Daniel had understanding in all visions and dreams. Okay, so going back to this in verse 15. Slacky, I kind of had an interruption, but going back to verse 15, at the end of the 10 days, their countenance appeared fairer and fatter in flesh. So not only did they look healthier, but they also looked, more, if you can say, more muscular, man, more lean. They looked stronger than all the other children that ate the king's meat, man. Just going to show you that that you don't need to eat a high animal protein diet to be strong, to be buff, bulky, strong. You could eat herbs, you could eat different vegetables. There was an MMA fighter, I forget who it was, but he was a vegetarian, man. And this dude was in there whooping ass. Okay? So now let's jump to Ecclesiasticus, and we'll close it from there. Well, actually, I want to show you something. The reason why I had this conversation with that Jake, that we were talking about walnuts. And if you look at a walnut, you look at this walnut, it looks like a brain. They say when you cut open a carrot, when you cut open the carrots, it looks like an eye inside. And they say carrots are good for your eyes. Okay, tomatoes, they're red. Kind of look like a heart. Tomatoes are supposed to be good for your heart. And there's a lot more out there. All right, different vegetables, different fruits that are good for, different parts of your body. That help out in certain areas. But you look at this walnuts, they look like a brain, man. Now let's read this. It says 10 health benefits of walnuts. Assists healthy blood formation. Assists development and growth. Contains B vitamin complex. Strengthens kidneys and lungs. Lubricates digestive system. Balances good versus bad fats. Improves brain health. Improves brain health. And if you look at the walnuts, man, it looks like a brain. Man, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai is deep, man. Okay. We're dealing with the omnipotent, man. The all-powerful. Alright, there's a reason why he's called the Most High. There's a reason why he is called Alashadja. Which when you look at the word Alashadja, it means almighty power. All right, look at that, man. There's no doubt about it that that looks like a brain. Looks like a cracked skull with the brain inside, man. Check this one out. Okay. That's cool, man. All right. Super spiritual. So let's get this and let's close it. I don't like my lessons being too long, dragging on. So this is Ecclesiasticus, aka the Book of Sirach, which is contained in the Apocrypha. It says right here in verse 38 and 1, honor a physician with the honor due unto him for the uses which ye may have of him. For the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushai created him. And there's physicians in this world outside the truth. You know that it's very wise of them, very beautiful. The Lord put the Spirit on them for us to learn. And then you have brothers that have learned from them and learned in their own way that are in this truth, that are actual physicians. Okay, you got brothers that go into health. That's their expertise. You know. Now us as a whole, we have to have some sort of knowledge of these herbs, man. We have to be a physician of some sort, you know, as the scriptures talk about. I believe it's in here. Yep. I'll read it in a second. But us, in general, as a whole, we have to have some kind of understanding of these herbs. But you have brothers that are on a higher level with these herbs. And the Lord created that man. That's his office. That's part of one of his offices, part of his, what's the word? Man.
Yeah, go ahead. No.
You know, his lots, his skills. Okay, to help other brothers, to put other brothers on game of these different herbs. You know, like me, for example, I know quite a bit about herbs, but there's brothers that know more. And when you want to learn about a certain herb or what would help a certain ailment that you have, all you got to do is use Google, man. That's why we got this technology, man. The Lord gave us this technology. Okay. Yeah, Esau brought it out, but it was through the Lord. The Lord made this devil bring it out for us to use, to gain this knowledge, truth, and other things that are beneficial to us, man. You know, for an example, you could use cayenne pepper and make a tincture with cayenne pepper that'll increase blood flow. And they say that it can actually stop heart attacks within seconds, man. If you're feeling sickly, you know, you could eat garlic. Garlic is a very powerful antibiotic, antimicrobial. Okay, it kills the flu. You know. So honor a physician with the honor due unto him for the uses which he may have of him. Okay? You could ask a brother that knows about these herbs. And the brother's going to help you. And you're supposed to honor that. You're supposed to be grateful that the Lord created certain brothers like that, man. It says, for Yahweh Bashem Yahushai created him. For of the Most High cometh healing. And he shall receive honor of the king. So ultimately, man, it's Yahweh Bashem Yahushai that heals. He created all these herbs and different spirits of men out here that are beneficial to your health. Okay? The skill of the physician shall lift up his head, and in the sight of great men he shall be in admiration. You know, if you have skill with these herbs, being a physician, which the word physician, I believe it means a healer. When you go to the hospital and touch down on Esau's medicine, which is really witchcraft, pharmaceuticals, which goes back to pharmakia, all right, which is a Greek word which means witchcraft. When you go to that's not medicine, man. Okay, real medicine is the herbs, all right? Real medicine is these fruits, vegetables, different plants Okay? And a man that understands that when he comes and he helps somebody that has an ailment, you're admired, man. You become reverenced, okay, honored. This is verse 4, the point. It says, the Lord, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, hath created medicines out of the earth. Medicines out of the earth, which is, the ground. The ground that brings forth these plants. Okay? He made medicines. All right? Garlic, like I was mentioning earlier, garlic isn't just something used to flavor your food, man. It's actually medical. Okay, you got people that be smoking this weed, smoking the herb, the ganja, and it wasn't created for them, man. We read in Genesis how the Lord said He created every fruit-bearing seed, and it shall be to you for meat. You could actually eat it without it being psychoactive, and it'll give you certain benefits, certain vitamins, nutrients, man. Heal you in certain ways. Now, people that suffer from cancer, they actually make medicine out of that. But they're not smoking it, man. They're ingesting it. They're eating it. And what does it do? It helps them heal. It helps them to eat when they can't eat. Because cancer, man, is it's a very deadly disease. Or virus. And it was created, or it was developed through the malnutrition of Esau's GMOs, man. Monsanto and all these damn devils. They put these chemicals and different things in our food for you to develop tumors and cancers, man. This devil wants to kill us, man. Okay, as a whole. He don't want one Israelite to be breathing. Okay. So one more again. Yahweh Bashem Yahushai created medicines out of the earth. Alright, you got different herbs, fruits, vegetables, garlic. You got garlic, you got onions. Man, everything, any fruit, vegetable you could think of, man. It's all for your health and benefit, and they have different parts of the body that they interact with. Okay. It says, and he that is wise will not abhor them. So if you consider yourself wise, you're not going to abhor these fruits, vegetables, different herbs. You're not going to say, to hell with them. I'm going to go to Esau. I'm going to go to the hospital. Because if you do that, you're not wise, man. Okay, and your sicknesses are going to continue. If you want to be healed, man, you need to pay attention to the words of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, His prophets. Alright? Because you got a lot of our people that suffer, man, from obesity, diabetes, and different ailments. Why? Because, first and foremost, okay, they're not praying to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Okay, they're not taking heed to the words of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Because if they were, okay, they wouldn't be eating these abominable foods such as pork, shrimp, crab, lobster, all those foods. Okay, give our people high blood pressure, different ailments, heart problems, okay, diabetes, all right, parasites. Okay, if they were taking heed, they wouldn't be suffering from those things, man. All right. It says, was not the water made sweet with wood, that the virtue thereof might be known? Yeah, when we were coming the Exodus, when we were fleeing Egypt, and the waters were bitter, what did the Lord do? Okay, he had a tree fall into the water. The tree got brought down into water and made the water sweet, so that we could drink it. It cleansed it. All right. It says, and he hath given men skill, that he might be honored in his marvelous works. With such does he heal men and taketh away their pains. Hey, man, recently, there's been a lot of talks a lot of presentations of, your typical garden weeds that you can extract the milk, the white substance that comes out of them, and you could actually make a natural painkiller from it, man. And they said it's as strong as I believe they said Vicodin or morphine, but it's natural. You can't overdose from it. Okay, it'll only affect you a certain way. All right, and there's other herbs that take away pain, man. Turmeric, what does turmeric do? It reduces inflammation. Reduces inflammation. What are some other ones? Man, I can't really think of them, but there's a lot of herbs out there, man, for these things. Let's see. It says, of such doth the apothecary make a confection, and of his works there is no end, and from him is peace over all the earth. My son, in thy sickness be not negligent, but pray unto the Lord, and he will make thee whole. Okay? So first and foremost, man, you got to pray to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai when you're feeling ill, sick. And a lot of times these sicknesses come from lack of nutrition, man, lack of nutrients, minerals. Remember, as the scripture says, we're made of the dust, man, different elements. So you need to put those elements back in your body. When you look at certain fruits and vegetables, they contain elements. They got copper and magnesium, calcium. Those are elements. Okay? And your body is made of those things, and you got to put them back in you. All right? I have colloidal gold. And colloidal gold is good for your bones, your teeth. It's good for mental conductivity, creativity. Okay, it's good for your reproductive system. It's good for your digestive system. It's good for all of you. Colloidal gold. And what that is just gold extracted in the water. Gold particles. Which in your brain, everybody, I believe they say, contains, I believe they say every human at adult age contains, I think, 1 gram of gold or half a gram of gold in their body. Your body contains gold, copper, different silver, different metals, different elements. Okay? So one more time in verse 9, my son, in thy sickness be not negligent, but pray unto Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, and he will make thee whole. So if you're going through any type of ailment, take these herbs, but first and foremost, pray to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, so that those herbs can work at a better rate. All right. So with that, all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, Bashem Harakakodash, and of course, as always, double honors to our apostles and elders that rule well at Great Millstone. Shalom to the elect.